Hello and welcome to the holiday season. This is the project I told you about, so let's have a look to see what I'm doing. So I'm making these little maple leaves to add to our placemat, and I just want to remind you so that you'll understand what I'm doing. So first of all, with the Apliquick method, you start off with the stabilizer paper, the foundation paper that helps you to turn over your edges. So I would just take that up against the pattern, and you want to do it with the shiny side up so there's no mirror image, and you would just trace that on right on to the stabilizer, and then you would cut that out right on the line, and then that just gets ironed to the back of some multi-colored print. So here's our little maple leaf, and then I just want to show you about turning the edges, since how some people have asked me about that. So we're going to start off. You can see I have ironed it right onto the wrong side of this fabric, and I've cut it out with a seam allowance. And some of the tricks to doing this are, you don't want a huge seam allowance, and then around the end of these points, all of this fabric has to fit just into this little area. So you don't want a lot of fabric to have to turn over here. So you would cut these points just straight across so that there's very little there, and then taper them out a little bit. You would want to clip in to these inside curves here. So clip this all the way, almost all the way to your foundation piece, to stay back a couple little threads from there. And then you're going to go ahead and apply the glue. So I just have some clear plastic here, some of my plastic laminate that I use to glue these edges up. So the glue can get on the paper, on the fabric, wherever. I don't glue up too big of a section at a time because the glue dries pretty fast. It's just a water-soluble glue that dries up pretty fast. And I'm going to move that away from all that glue now. And we're going to go ahead and turn these edges. So I'm going to just use my point instead of my fork to do this, because this is a pretty big piece implement to put in that little space. So I'm just going to only use the point at this time. And I'm going to start at the actual tip of this. I'm going to press that over first, and then that's when I go ahead and then do my sides. So then I'm going to bring that side over. And just smooth it out with this beveled side, and then you can come back on that other side and just bring that over. And then I'm going to go ahead and use both of my points at this, and I'm just going to smooth that little point right out. Get all of that down in place. And then I'll go back and just finish along this edge here. Around these curves, you just want to work in these little pleats. So you can just smooth those little pleats out so you don't have anything really bunched up there. And then in these little spaces, be sure to bring all those little threads back so that they get in the glue there. Here's another little point. I'll start out at the tip here, turn that over, and then one side and then the other. flip this over and then use my bevel to really smooth this out too on this side, but then you can see that's pretty complex little curves there to try to make, and it just makes it so much easier with the Apliquick. And then this piece, when I finish turning all the edges, would go over here, but we're going to go over here now and we are going to work on the placemat itself. So when this was finished turning, you could just go ahead and applique that to your placemat in the position of your choice. And just to make it quick, I just used some invisible thread and machine applique them on there. They have some nice loft and dimension because they have that stabilizer in there. And then I'm going to use Jones Tones glue, which is the best foil glue out there. It really holds up the best in the wash and stuff. Has a little tip on it here so that we can just go ahead and glue in our veins, because that's what we're going to foil. We're going to add foil to the leaves in the shape of the little veins. So just want to, kind of goes on, looks sort of white and creamy, and you just want to put that on in the shape of the veins. And of course, every one of these in Mother Nature is different, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's go over and do this one now too. Shows up on the camera a little bit better on the darker color here. And foiling's not an exact, very precise thing because it's all dependent on where you can get the glue. So, but the nice thing is the veins in Mother Nature's aren't very precise or symmetrical either, so you can just kind of make it up as you go. But we're gonna want to have enough foil on here to glitz these leaves up really nicely for some holiday fun and interest. So that looks pretty good. And then you have to wait for the glue itself to dry, and that usually takes a couple hours, or of course you could do this at night and then just leave it till morning too. But it needs to dry until it's completely clear, and then you'll know that you're ready to actually add the foil. So I'm going to cut now, and we're going to wait and come back when I'm ready to apply the foil. Okay, it's been a couple of hours and we're back now, and you can see if you look that the glue is nice and clear, so it is dried thoroughly. I've turned the project around so that you're facing it now so you can see. I've got my iron right here all ready to go on a very low temperature setting, and the placemat top is on my ironing board. You need a nice firm surface, not anything that feels like a pillow, so you can get a really nice firm push across the foil. And here's your foil. So you have the side that's all the shiny gold, pretty side, and then you have the side that looks kind of like paper. It's just white. Now intuitively, you would think that you would put this gold side down against your glue, but that's not what you do. You have to put it right side up over the top of the leaf. And then it's simply a matter of taking the side of your iron so you have a nice firm surface, and I'm just going to drag this iron right across these two leaves. I'm just going to hold this down nice and firm. And you can kind of see, if you look right here, you can see that the veins are popping out there. And we'll get them over the top of this other one too. I'm going to just go back and make sure that I really pushed on this until you can get a view of, you see the image actually coming through the gold leaf. It might be so shiny it's difficult to see in the camera, but you should be able to see the veins sort of like an embossed raised edge coming through the gold leaf. And then I'm just going to let it cool for a second, but then I'm just going to go ahead and peel this off. So I just take a little time and allow that to just peel right up here. And you can see it leaves, it actually pulls the gold out of this impregnated sheet that has the metallic gold in it. Yes, you can use this again and again, so any area that it hasn't been pulled out, you can go ahead and put that back over the top of more of your leaves. And then if you just did them one at a time, I just speeded it up, then you could be more careful to just place this so that you used every little bit of this more effectively. So that's all there is to it, and they look so pretty. Glitz for the holidays. Hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Big hugs.